acknowledge all of you honorable members. Let me also acknowledge the presence of officials, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good morning. Sanibonani. Siyaqala ke manje umhlangano. Can I check whether the honorable MEC ukuthi say ready before we proceed? Is honorable MEC ready? Honorable MEC. Okay, right. The MEC is now ready. Colleagues, honorable members, we are now starting the next session where we will be dealing with Vote 15, which is Departments of Arts and Culture. But first and foremost, let me thank the chairperson who was chairing the earlier session, uSisi Umbali Fraser. Siyabonga kakhulu siswam, we've done a sterling work. We are now reconnecting to this meeting. I'm sure we'll just proceed as we have done with the earlier meeting. I will now start with the Honorable MEC, who will be speaking for 45 minutes. And therefore, let me now invite our Honorable MEC, Umama MAVIMBELA, to speak for 45 minutes. Thank you, MEC. Over to you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Madam Speaker, Honorable Premier and colleagues in the Executive, Deputy Speaker, Honorable members, distinguished guests, business leaders, members of the art and creative industries, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, I am humbled today to present the budget debate of Vote 15. Honorable members, this year's Art and Culture Budget Vote come at a time when we as the nation are celebrating Youth Month. It has been 44 years since the uprising in which many children lost their lives while standing up against a system that sought to strip them their identity and break their spirit. Under the theme, Youth Power, Growing South Africa Together in the period of COVID-19. Today, our youth is fighting a different struggle, which has seen the entire country under lockdown. We depend on our youth to stand together to fight and conquer the COVID-19 pandemic. As we celebrate 100 years of Ubaba Ipubesi Lasemkungundlovu, Ubaba uHerry Gwala, I am reminded of President Nelson Mandela, who described his striking icon as a, open quote, political teacher who taught generations after generation of struggle. Many of today's leaders drank from the deep well of Mpepetwa's political wisdom, but such was the nature of his teaching that the product of his education will themselves develop into political giants in their own right, using the tools he gave them to develop independent thought and analysis, close quote. I also draw inspiration from another great leader who helped to shape the politics and inspire the African National Congress, Umfowethu Anton Lebede, who was the most admired youth philosopher. He shared a vision that African nationalism is part of politics and politics defines the whole essence of the self-recognition and identify politics. His politics writing as a youth leader was greatly influenced by the harsh realities brought to African at the time of colonialism. I felt that it is essential, honorable members, that I evoke the spirit of Anton Lembede and Harry Gwala as we continue to celebrate the Youth Month. Honorable members, the nature of the creative industries primarily consists of freelance work. Most of the sector is formally and contract work driven. The industry we are responsible for was dealt with a double blow, the abrupt change and in the ability to generate income. The pandemic also forced us to close all public buildings, such as libraries, museums, art galleries, archives, art theaters, art centers, and repositories. The impact of the above mentioned have been massive in terms of the service delivery and economic challenges in our province. To provide short-term relief, we presented an intervention program that sought to afford some level of assistance to the hardest hit sector. Honorable members, as a caring government led by the African National Congress, we had to swiftly provide some form of relief to our creative industry and engage them during this challenging period. I am pleased to announce that over 200 artists from across the province have benefited directly from the KZN Provincial COVID-19 Art Relief Initiative. I must hasten to mention that while we still have a long way to go in reviving the province's creative industries, we are working around the clock to do so. The pandemic compels both the department and its stakeholders to rethink how we conduct our day-to-day business. It is still early to say that we have a working formula. However, we are continuously engaging various sectors and stakeholders to find methods that will pave a path out of this challenging period. Reviving the cultural and creative economy post-COVID-19. Honorable members, the COVID-19 pandemic has demonstrated to all the level of vulnerability and volatility of the creative industry. Ukwenza umzekelo, umama odayisa ubuhlalo enibuye nithi beadwork ninabafundileyo laphaya eduze kwasolwandle. Ngokuvalwa kwemisebenzi ngesimo salolu bhubhane kusho ukuthi omama baphelelwe indlela yokuziphilisa, abasakwazi ukondla abantwana kanye nemindeni yabo. Kuyisimo esinzima kakhulu lesibucali ngendlela eyisimanga ekudinga ukuthi sonke sibambisane ukuze siqhamuke namacebo azosilekelela siye phambili sibeke isinkwa etafuleni. We have taken time to reflect on the severe strain and difficulty brought by the epidemic and engage widely to find possible short and medium-term solutions that could assist communities in our province who make their livelihood through arts and culture. SIFSA interim leadership in the province have been kept abreast at all times of all the developments to ensure that artists are informed of the relief measures put in place by the department. When the lockdown measures were implemented, we activated remote working measures which place a significant reliance on technology and digital solutions to keep our efforts going. We established a WhatsApp number to assist members of the creative sector while our offices were partially on lockdown and created visual music concept to allow artists to showcase their crafts. As we continue to seek measures that can extend a protective layer in the arts, culture and heritage sector, we have set a budget of 10 million rands that is available for organizations and entities that wish to apply for funding within the department. Honorable members, allow me to make an open call today for all creative sector stakeholders to submit their application to access this grant funding. We have approved a new funding policy that aims for fair geographical spread of providing finances to programs in KwaZulu-Natal. From today, we will publish a document on all our social media platforms, website, and place adverts with more information regarding the requirements. We will focus on funding proposals that will be innovative, enhance the call by the government to promote social distancing and encourage individual responsible behavior to contain the spread of COVID-19. Applications will be considered for events up to 2021 to accommodate the easing of the regulation on COVID-19. We will continuously evaluate application, bearing in mind that there won't be many physical events that will take place for the better part of 2020-2021 financial year. Honorable members, I want to emphasize that this funding process will be open to everyone, transparent and accessible to women groups, NGOs, amakhosi, amabutho, jazz events, gospel events, local talent shows, and many more activities. We want to encourage as many people of the province to apply, as we are committed to ensuring a big geographic spread in our funding strategy following the district development model. Realignment of work programs and themes. I will now focus on the rollout of our work program as we intensify our efforts to improve people's lives and fast-track service delivery. We have established 4 broad work streams within the department. These work streams intend to realign our function as well as shaping our mandate, namely its literacy theme, legacy theme, preservation theme, signature event theme. I will come back to this theme to elaborate further. The work streams are dynamic, cross-functionally, and all led by chief directors. We are adding new energy through this work stream, intending to strengthen the department, provide decisive leadership. As part of this stream, we aim to leverage on the uniqueness of KwaZulu-Natal cultural heritage, artistic excellence, and strategic positioning of the province, and create opportunities that will increase jobs in the cultural and creative industries and retain artists in the province. Operation Clean Audit, which is allocated 170,368,000. Madam Speaker, our department has seen a consistent unqualified audit opinion with matters of emphasis. Our goal is for the department to move from an unqualified audit outcome to a clean audit outcome. Consequence management will be implemented where necessary to ensure that the department delivers as expected. We have identified areas that have dragged the department audit opinion down. The area of supply chain management has brought about many audit findings in the past. In this regard, the department, working with Provincial Treasury, has appointed a multidisciplinary team to turn things around. The team that we have appointed to assist with the SCM has given a clear mandate, which is to read the unit of all identified audit issues and implement a turnaround strategy within the next 12 months. Honorable members, let me take this opportunity to report a great improvement on the side of the department as it reduces the vacancy rate. When we tabled the budget speech last year, the department had a vacancy rate of near 20%. I am pleased to report that vacancy rate has been reduced to below 9%, which is a major step going forward in our effort to stabilize the department. As I promised that I will go back to the themes, now I'm giving more meat to the themes, to the work stream of the department. Let me start with the legacy theme. The department will implement programs earmarked to celebrate 60 years of the founding of the Ladysmith Black Mambazo. COVID-19 has disrupted our plans. However, we are in discussion with the Ladysmith Black Mambazo Foundation to create alternative methods to celebrate iconic music group. Linked to this work, we are exploring many avenues to preserve and celebrate 60 years of Ukhozi FM, which was on the 1st of this month. Ukhozi was funded and inspired by the desire to enhance the use of indigenous language, in particular isiZulu. Our work will not be complete if the legacy of Ukhozi FM is not documented. Madam Speaker, our legacy project team will explore a series of creative work to showcase the extensive history of Ukhozi FM. This is parallel to discussion with SABC management to find fitting ways that will mark celebration. Preparatory work has been already commenced by the oral history unit to look at documenting the tragic Shoba Shobane massacre, which took place in December of 1995 as Zingoleni on the lower South Coast. The department has been tasked with diligent coordinating this work in close consultation with all stakeholders and affected families. We have set out our 2020 program for the later part of the year to celebrate the life and times of the liberation struggle stalwarts, Harry Gwala and Raymond Mhlaba. The department is considering combining programs that will honor and preserve their respective legacies and contributions. The department is currently conducting a research that will be used for purposes of honoring the freedom stalwarts. The intention is also to identify the types of history artifacts linked to them, which can be kept in the provincial archives I'm sorry for that, Chairperson, as well as the strategic heritage sites that will be cultivated for the future development in honor of these two centenaries. The department will also engage relevant stakeholders for the celebration to commemorate the arrival of Indian endangered workers in November. The Indian endangered workers were shipped by the British to the province as labor for the sugar plantations. We are also exploring a music exchange program that will work to immortalize umculo wesiqathamiya. We intended to create a lasting legacy, not only celebrate the achievement of the music icon, but also to preserve the music genre and keep it for genres to come. Legacy theme. The department's mandate to preserve and develop languages, provide access to libraries and various library material, afford us a unique opportunity to make a significant contribution in the education and literacy space. We have identified the development of authors as a critical area in our work. In this regard, Honorable Chair, the department will facilitate capacity building programs for authors to interact, develop, and grow. This will start with the creation of province-wide database of authors, writers, and publishers established and hosted by the department. This database should be completed and digitized by October 2020. Furthermore, the department will host 6 provincial book exhibitions and author networking sessions every year. Honorable Chairperson, each financial year, the department spends more than 25 million rands buying books, the periodical and other literacy products. It is therefore fitting that our developmental agenda focuses on circulating a large sum of this budget within the province. To achieve this, we must publish quality work, mainly focusing on budding authors, academic institutions, and researchers alike to produce a large volume of written literacy work. Furthermore, working with stakeholders such as the Department of Education, municipalities, and NYDA, we will soon announce a comprehensive program designed to develop and assist out-of-school youth who have writing and publishing aspirations. Lastly, we are in the process of commissioning 5 books that will be written by KwaZulu-Natal authors about local townships and villages. Honorable members, we are at the beginning of the exciting project that will tell the local story. It will form part of our literacy work and also assist in building a socially cohesive community. We hold the view that developing our young people by encouraging a culture of reading and writing will contribute towards building a generation of new knowledge communities. This is an idea that needs a lot more attention from us, and we intend to continue prioritizing it by ensuring that libraries buy books that are from developing local industries. In the MTF, we will commission an analytic study of this market. At the same time, we know that advent of ICT has changed the way books and periodics are distributed. It is still essential to understand the underlying dynamics that run this industry and begin to shape it for the future generations. Post-COVID-19, we aim to create quarterly book fairs to exhibit towards related stories, books, comic books, and other materials linked to township stories at district level, partnering with local municipalities. If we are to focus and inculcate a culture of reading and writing, we must have a ground-up approach. Preservation theme. Honorable Chairperson, as the department, we have taken a unique initiative to conduct district-based research program That will be done through our preservation work stream and oral history unit. The research will provide us with a list of stalwarts and heroes at a local level. I wish to emphasize that the list will not be limited to the struggle for freedom. Our definition of heroes in the arts and culture space will remain broad, documenting those who have contributed in the music space, shaping local history, arts, cultural aspects, authors, just to name the few. In the coming months, we will announce a detailed care plan for those identified by the provincial government as fitting the criteria of stalwarts. The comprehensive care plan will be put in place once we have conducted our research and conducted wide-ranging consultation with various stakeholders. Honorable Chairperson, the department has started exploring the concept of virtual digital program in an effort to occupying young people with creative content and innovative activities. We are going to expand this program beyond national days and link it with specific creative sectors. We are looking at exploring the fourth industrial revolution to stream content and creative, provide artists with a space where they can manage their content and interact with fans and potential customers. Honorable Chair, we are looking at establishing several heritage routes to stimulate local economy activity working in collaboration with tourism. This study proof of concept will focus on 5 routes, namely Johnny Makhathini in Indwedwe, Chief Luthuli at KwaDukuza, King Dingane kaSenza Ngakhona route at Engwavuma, and DCO Matiwane at Umsunduze. Establishing these heritage routes will yield investment in heritage as well as economic spin-off for local communities. The department will continue with the work of installing the statue of King Shaka at King Shaka International Airport. Honorable members, we will do this critical work guided by His Majesty the King, Ungangezelakhe. We will be in constant consultation with His Majesty for this guidance and seek to implement this vital work to its logical completion, also guided by regulation as issued by the National Command Council. Post-COVID-19 operations, which is budgeted at 283 million. Honorable Chairperson, the department has developed a risk-adjusted strategy return to work plan for the gradual opening of the department offices. In this regard, the approach focuses on public and staff interface, such as office readiness to handle internal staff. Honorable members, you will remember that the department is responsible for libraries, museums, and archives, what we call cultural memory organizations. As such, there is a new reality for this organization, and we have to adapt to the new ways of working to ensure that service delivery does not stop. COVID-19 has forced us to re-evaluate many areas of our lives, and as such, we are obliged to review how libraries, museums, archives operate in post-COVID era. Our immediate task is to put safety protocols in place that are conducive and ensure that everyone who interacts with our cultural memory organization adhere to safety guidelines. The department will support local communities with personal protective equipment and cleaning material at public libraries and museums. We are looking at ways to expand internal access at all libraries to complement the existing Wi-Fi internet access to enable individual devices to connect at a distance as part of efforts to minimize the possibility of COVID infections. Working with local stakeholders, the department will issue guidelines that will assist all public libraries with strict protocols guided by the Department of Health. The intention will be to minimize the risk of infections in all public access areas, rearrange seating arrangements in libraries to ensure social distancing, and where possible, only open libraries to issue out books to patrons. We will explore the use of digital options to continue availing library books and material to KwaZulu-Natal citizens. We are mindful that digital solutions are not one-size-fits-all solution. We will carefully structure a solution that is ideal and tailor-made for the needs of our communities in KwaZulu-Natal, considering the province's vast rural landscape and limited access to bandwidth and data costs. As time progresses, honorable members, a digital solution tailored with thoughtful design will be announced and demonstrated for all to access. I want to emphasize that we will speed up this process to ensure that books for matriculants and tertiary students are remotely accessible before the end of September to support our learners as they begin their preparation for exams. Honorable members, I am pleased to announce to this House that 10 modular libraries will be completed in this financial year 2020-2021, creating job opportunities for local communities. The department is also responsible for managing archives and repository. We will ensure that we take measures to mitigate the spread of the coronavirus, including deep sanitization of all facilities and training of frontline staff and supervisors on limiting the spread of the virus. In addition to measures taken so far, we will continue encouraging all stakeholders to make use of our online platform to access information from all repositories. Notwithstanding these challenges, honorable members, I want to report that our plans for the establishment of the archive repository on a site of 10,000 square meters in a government present complex in Pietermaritzburg are at an advanced stage. I think honorable members will remember Honorable Nkonyeni had also reported on this one. To date, specialists from the Department of Public Works have completed a master plan for the development of the government present site where the new repository will be constructed. The archives and record service will continue to be rolled out campaigns promoting national symbols, orders, and the theme, I Am the Flag campaign, which aim to educate our people on how to handle, care, and protect our national heritage as embodied in national symbol and orders. Our records management unit within the archive services will continue to work with the Auditor General of South Africa to strengthen record-keeping practices within the province. Honorable Chairperson, a few years back, we announced a launch of the KZN Heritage Portal. The portal was our digital initiative to digitize cultural memory artifacts. The KZN Heritage Portal gives us that opportunity to provide an integrated solution that cuts across historic boundaries to give the people of KwaZulu-Natal access to services and information without limitation. Embracing digital solutions can certainly help us get together in times when physical proximity is not an option. Virtual reality, however, has its limitations. Fundamentally amongst them is knowledge and access. If you don't know that a digital solution exists, you are excluded from access. It is therefore essential for us to increase our education and awareness program using access points such as the radio to ensure that communities are not left behind. Risk-adjusted strategy. We are expanding internet access in libraries by installing Wi-Fi routers to enable remote access for individual devices and minimizing unnecessary contact. We will buy brand new mobile libraries to expand access targeting remote rural areas. We will further refurbish the old mobile library tracks suitable modern access in a post-COVID-19 reality. Relaunch the KZN Heritage Portal to include other KZN-based artifacts and make it more dynamic. We are building 10 brand new modular libraries. We have started with the construction of new libraries, including Dugu Library. However, this was disrupted by the lockdown. I am pleased to announce that the construction teams are back preparing sites to resuming construction. We have set aside additional funds for these 9 construction sites to be COVID-19 compliant, and construction will continue shortly. And we are on course to complete construction. Culture and heritage, which is allocated 30 million. Honorable members, as we all know, the department works closely with the Royal House under the guidance of His Majesty the King, Isilo Samabandla, KwaZulu. It implements all imikhosi kaZulu. I want to take this moment to remind members and the people of KwaZulu-Natal that the department is entrusted with implementation and coordination of major cultural ceremonies such as Umkhosi Womhlanga, Umkhosi Wesizivane, Umkhosi Welembe, Umkhosi Wasesandwane, Umkhosi Woselwa. Each year we get guidance from His Majesty the King on these significant cultural ceremonies, the implementation, rollout, theme and target programs. These ceremonies have been hugely affected by COVID-19 pandemic. The stringent regulation on staging large gatherings affects cultural traditions. I want to reiterate that the department will continue to seek guidance from His Majesty the King as we continue to manage life in a new normal. National building is important to the department, and it is with this spirit that we approach all cultural ceremonies, including other critical national events. Stabilizing art, culture, and heritage institutions. Honorable members, when the 6th administration started, we made an undertaking to stabilize institutions that are affiliated to the department, I am pleased to report progress in our effort and continue to map a way forward, progressively dealing with challenges in a structured manner. AMAFA and Research Institute, which is allocated 60,444,000. Honorable members, I am pleased to announce the appointment of the new council that will look after AMAFA and Research Institute. The council will serve a term of 3 years. Allow me to congratulate the council on their appointment and wish them well. We expect them to transform the province's heritage landscape. For many years, the development of the province has been fueled by interests that overlook inclusivity and favor very few companies and individuals. I am confident that this council is more than capable of putting a program of action in place that will transform this and change the face of the development in the province. Our desire for an inclusive economy should be realized through our effort in government. And I do not doubt that as the AMAFA and Research Council starts its work, it will consider transforming as its most primary task to fulfill. The KwaZulu-Natal Geographical Naming Council, which is allocated 800,000 rands. The Geographical Naming Council is another essential institution that is affiliated to the department. It plays a significant role in the province by advising and engaging with the local authorities in ensuring that principles of SINGH are applied to names under their jurisdiction. The council makes recommendations to SINGH on the names of geographical features that falls within its provincial boundaries. The council also does preparatory work for the submissions of names to be sent to SINGH. It is tasked with a responsibility of ensuring that local communities and other stakeholders are adequately consulted and liaise with the SINGH on promoting research and ensuring that unrecorded names are recorded. As we continue to ensure that we diligently standardize geographical names in the province, we have appointed a new council that will carry out this task of correcting geographical names that were deliberately distorted in the past. Some of the areas, cities, villages were named after brutal colonial settlers who murdered hundreds of people. We have a historical mission as this ANC-led government to correct the past injustice and ensure that our villages, cities, rivers, mountains are named and documented correctly. As we welcome the new KZN-PGN Council, this government has a clear mandate from the masses to transform society, and we are duly bound to do that without hesitation. Honorable Chairperson, ngiyocela ukuthi ungiboleke imizuzwana kuleyo kuphendula ukuze ngizokwazi ukwethula kahle lolu hlahlomali kuyindlu ngokuhlonipheka. The KZN Music House, which is allocated 8 million. Honorable members, I reported last year that this recording studio will be operational by the third quarter of the 2019. We did not achieve this target due to many challenges that we encourage as we continue to navigate issues that plague the recording facility. Consequently, I engaged the head of department to implement a secondary program to resolve the current bottleneck that bedevils KZN Music House. I want to assure members that we are doing everything in our power to speed up the process of opening the recording facility as earlier as possible. I must say, not all is gloom and doom. We have appointed a legal firm which has been given the responsibility of advising the department and creating a new legal framework to govern KZN Music House. It is essential that we get this part right to minimize any loopholes and close any litigation possibilities in future. This process will be complete, and once it is finalized, based on the legal proposal and opinion, we will be able to appoint a project team or structure to reopen the KZN Music House. Support for KZN Art Centers and Art Organization, which is allocated 40 million. The department works with several art centers in the province. Some of the art centers are affiliated art centers and others are directly linked to the department. Over the years, we have seen a mixed set of results coming from these important community centers. Some art centers are doing very well with structured programs, and other centers are dysfunctional. In a bid to stabilize art centers in the province, the Federation of Community Art Centers has been established. Allow me to applaud this effort from the art centers, honorable members, and furthermore, pledge our support to the Federation. Honorable members, community art centers are an essential development mode in many communities. Art can and is a source of livelihood to many households. Remote and poor communities can survive and feed families through art and crafts. That is why we need to ensure that there is a well-functioning program that looks after community art centers. There is a widespread exploitation and underpayment of artists, mainly those coming from rural areas and townships. If art centers were vibrant, functionally and structured, they would be offered an institutionalized source of income generation for many communities, thus broaden economic opportunities. We must continue to strengthen our working relationship with art centers, creating an environment that will enable them to thrive and generate more opportunities for our communities. Beyond work that we do with art centers, the department support funding is providing to various organizations to assist in providing a platform for emerging artists. District-based development model. I'm not going to bore you, Honorable Chairperson and members, of the completed project, which we have spent 56 million, because we will see us going around the province launching these programs and also handing over to our communities. In conclusion, Chairperson, as I conclude, honorable members, I want to point out that art and culture is among the departments that will experience a budget cut during the budget adjust process, as indicated by my colleague MEC Pillay in his budget speech on Wednesday. We are already hard at work with a team from Provincial Treasurer adjusting our annual performance plan to fit with the new allocation. I would like to thank the African National Congress and Honorable Premier for entrusting me with the responsibility of leading the Department of Art and Culture. I also want to extend my appreciation to the Art and Culture and the Finance Portfolio Committee, the head of department with his team for the continuous support, and also the team in the ministry led by the HOM. To my family, umama wami ongikhulekelayo uNdabezitha, my son uLindokuhle, and my daughter uSiphesihle, thank you for continuing to be my pillar of strength. I now table the budget for the KwaZulu-Natal Department of Arts and Culture, Vote 15, for 2020-2021 financial year of 1,021,062,000, with Program 1 allocated 170,368,000, Program 2 322,723,000, Program 3 527,971,000. That gives a total of 1,021,062,000. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson and members.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC MAVIMBELA, for your very comprehensive report as the MEC for Arts and Culture. And for that, thank you so much. Honorable members, I am now going to invite Honorable E.V. Bishop DUBE to present the Chairperson's report for 10 minutes. Baba Nzwagele, Bishop.
Thank you very much, Mkhatshwa. I hope I am clear, Gezwagala. I've had challenges with the technology.
Gezwagala, Bishop.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair of the session, Mkhatshwa, Honorable Khuzeni, our Premier, members of the Executive, but I want also to thank our MEC for the presentation that she has just made now. I want to thank the HOD, Kambushe, and the officials of the Department of Arts and Culture. With all the guests, I take this time to greet you. Thanking also our organization, the African National Congress, for showing the stand leadership, even in the way this committee is being conducted. It is a great honor to me to deliver to the committee, to deliver the report of the committee and discussions that we deliberated related to the budget of 2021 of the Department of Arts and Culture. I want to say the Portfolio Committee has exercised its mandate as strengthened by the provisions of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa under the Rule 142 of the KwaZulu-Natal Legislature. This oversight obligation included consideration and adoption of the budget of Vote 15 for 2021 financial year. The Portfolio Committee received briefings from the department and the final APP that was in April 24, 2020, which may also appear here in the report that some of the things the department has already done excessively very well. The budget overview, the department has been allocated with the budget, as the MEC has said, of $1,021,000 in 2021 financial year. The committee notes that the department has now assumed the heritage function, which previously resided in the office of the Premier, and has taken over the KZN Amafa and Research Institute. Program 1, which is administration, the budget that is allocated is 170,368 for the budget year 2021, which is an increase from 2019 to 2020 budget. Corporate services and sub-program plans to fill the 97 critical vacant posts in 2021. I think MEC has alluded to this very important aspect. The committee urges the department also to complete the work in terms of making sure that all these posts are filled. But so far, they have done very well. In Program 2, which is Cultural Affairs, the budget allocated for this program is 322.703 million for the budget year 2021. I must say that appointment of staff as well, the continuation of hosting departmental events such as Read, Dance, Mkhosi Omhlanga, Freedom Day and Africa Day will continue and operate under this Cultural Affairs Program 2. The museum sub-program will cater for the renovation of KwaZulu-Natal Museum as well as ongoing provincialization of the museums. The department responded to the Premier's call to have provincial flagship programs similar to the one of Makufe Festival in the Free State. The state in the Free State by allocating a budget from within this program to the tune of 4 million for the Drakensberg extravaganza. The committee welcomed this new endeavor and wishes the department very well. The department will continue supporting His Majesty cultural events. An allocation of 100,000 per weekend, totaling to 5.2 million for the 2021 financial year for the Improving the Mood of the Province of KwaZulu-Natal program has been put into place. That's a program where the department will go to all the regions and sort of to create the ambience or create the spirit of the province, allowing also the upcoming artists to participate and being able to get some incentives. This allocation funding will be used, as I have said, in all districts within the province throughout rotational basis within the financial year 2020 to 2021. Program 3 is library and archive services. The allocation budget for Program 3 is 527,971,000 for the budget year 2021. The department plans of building 7 libraries at Umzumbe, Mbali, Endaleni, Dugudugu, KwaDlangezwa, Enquthu, and KwaMdakane in Tannhauser. The department will also establish 10 modular libraries, which is a great thing we are looking for. An archive repository will be started in 2020-2021, but we then understand the situation of COVID-19 that we are facing at the moment. It is noted that the department's budget has been reduced from 1.32 billion to 1.21 billion in 2021 MTEF. Reduction was due to the data updates to the provincial equitable shares formula and fiscal consolidation cuts, which are aimed at reducing spending levels across all 3 spheres of the government. It is, however, a concern that another reason for reduction of the budget is due to low spending by the department against compensation of employees. The Community Library Service Grant was also reduced from 184,417,000 to 181,072,000 in the year 2020 to 21 MTEF. In respect of the EPW integrated grants for provinces, the department has not been allocated funding in 2021 over the MTEF as the grant is incentive-based. The department will, however, continue to appoint contract workers, such as the appointment of reed cutters for the reed dance Umkhosomhlanga workers and those who are assisting in the infrastructure. We identify key focus areas in 2021 according to the APP, like the implementation of social cohesion and moral regeneration program, infrastructure project, empowerment of artists in KwaZulu-Natal, COVID-19 risk adjustment strategy, improvement of audit outcomes, and filling of all critical vacant posts. The observation and finding of the committee noted that the budget is presented when South Africa and the whole world is unfortunately experiencing COVID-19 pandemic. The committee appreciates the department's response to COVID-19 and the department has implemented a program to support KZN artists who can no longer sustain their livelihoods. We congratulate the department for such an initiative. The department priorities were aligned with NDP, PDGP, and the 7 national government priorities. The department is commended for empowerment programs for artists, especially those that are previously disadvantaged in their upcoming and background. The committee noted the reduction of the department's budget as we have alluded, reduction of the transfers to the municipalities in respect of the provincialization of libraries, and obviously it is going to affect the development that we are looking at. The committee also noted the concern of the KZN Music House closure, as this one is denying a lot of artists an opportunity to record their music. But we are very happy that the department is progressing in trying to make sure that this problem is worked at. The committee recommended the strengthening and monitoring and evaluation mechanism, ensure that there are signed SLAs with municipalities, improve of infrastructure spending, ensure the filling of the budgeted critical posts, positively contribute to job creation and capacitate of arts and culture organization. The committee wishes to highlight in this House that all parties supported 2020-21 budget and APP of the Department of Arts and Culture, except for the Democratic Alliance, which expressed reservation and needed to consult with its caucus. In conclusion, the Portfolio Committee recognizes the critical role of nation building and social cohesion assigned to the department and will always offer unwavering support to the department in this important mandate. I wish to thank the MEC, Honorable MAVIMBELA, the HOD Gambushe, senior officials of the department for their continued cooperation and sterling work. Further gratitude goes to members of the committee for their unconditional support, guidance, and robust engagement. We thank you, Chair of the House.
Thank you very much, Honorable DUBE, for your presentation on the Chairperson's report. The next speaker is from the African National Congress, and that is Honorable CALUZA for 7 minutes. Honorable CALUZA.
Honorable Chairperson, Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the Legislature of KwaZulu-Natal, Premier Khuzeni and the Executive, in particular MEC MAVIMBELA, honorable members of the House, allow me first to begin by asking, can we exist without culture? What would we be if we did not share common values, principles, and most of all traditions? South Africa is a unique country wherein, due to apartheid, its people were grouped in terms of color and not what they believed in. Culture plays an important role towards uniting people that were once divided by a brutal system that saw us as color instead of beautiful human beings who have so much potential towards building a great nation. The birth of democracy in South Africa meant embracing each other with our different diversities and appreciating each other's cultures. These are the reasons we continue calling for the department to support and develop local cultural programs. We see these programs as stimulus towards eliminating social ills, especially amongst the youth. Those that follow social media will attest to how arts have contributed in sparking conversation for social cohesion. We also saw how when lights, camera action went off a couple of weeks ago due to the outbreak of coronavirus, and we saw, as sad as it was, we saw how technology played a role in keeping us entertained through those house parties. Most will remember the lockdown house parties that kept us glued in our screens. And even some of us, Honorable Chair, get down. Honorable Chairperson, just like in 1960 when the Ladysmith Black Mambazo was formed and continued to serenade us with their acoustic music as a starter mayor, we are particularly grateful to the department for recognizing this undisputed talent, as it will pay tribute to, it will continue paying tributes by commemorating the group's 60th anniversary. This program, Chairperson, I see it as a victory for our local Statamia groupings, but also for local artists in general, as they will benefit through various mentoring and support. We also welcome the documentation on Ukhozi FM. Kulabo ke abangazi ukuthi yini Ukhozi FM, laqala luyi-radio bantu ngabo-1960 lusakaza ngesiZulu, isiXhosa, isiSuthu kanye nesiTswana. Ilapho ke uhulumeni obandlululo wawuthakela khona izinhlelo zencindezelo. It was then split in the 70s to Radio Zulu and subsequently to UKwaZulu Maphiko. I am bringing this history, Honorable Chair, so that we understand why so much emphasis or the connection between the Ladysmith Black Mambazo and Ukhozi FM. I know some will not be bothered by this history ngoba phela abafuna ukwamukela ukuthi they are a product of abacindezeli. Chairperson, we should desist from looking at culture from a narrow and single-minded point of view. We cannot change the past, but we can definitely influence the present and change the future. This is why it is important that the department documents and keep our heritage alive for future generations so that they never repeat the past. We welcome the documentation of KwaShobashobane massacre, as well as celebrating the lives and times of the former chief whip of the ANC and the House, Ilayon Lase Midlands, Ubaba uHerry Gwala, kanye nobaba uRaymond Mhlaba. Honorable Chair, National Treasury affected cuts against KZN provincial budgets over the 2020-2021 MTEF. The budget cuts were offset by reducing the budgets of departments with low spending against compensation of employees, and those showing high expenditure on events gave a relief on the impact of the cuts for departments in 2020-2021 financial year. It must be noted that in the 2 outer years, the 2020-2021 MTEF cut is too huge. However, Chairperson, we accept that the situation is not normal, and the only thing that consoles us from these cuts is the fact that service delivery program must go to communities will not be affected. However, we must categorically state that we can't continuously treat the Department of Arts and Culture as a stepchild to other departments, where we even label it as a smaller department. Akuzuthi ke sihlalo njalo mengabe kumele kusikiwe kule Department ya Arts and Culture. Chairperson, whether wakhula njenganathi esasilalela ogogo bethu besitshela once upon a time noma kwasukasukela, the bottom line is storytelling by our elders contributed immensely towards knowledge production, sharing and education as it stimulated us as kids to think creatively. But most importantly, we learned how to listen to understand. These are a great part of our culture and should be preserved. Honorable MAVIMBELA, siyazamukela ke inhlelo zokuthuthukiswa kwababhali as we see this as another progressive opportunity to fight poverty and unemployment. We also welcome the commitment to pay full allocation to museums managed by Board of Trustees. Knowledge of our history must be protected wherever they are kept and should not be affected by budget cuts. We are, however, deeply saddened to note the reduction to the allocation to art centers and the KZN Philharmonic Orchestra. Sinethemba ke lokuthi angeke sihlalo kuhlale kunje. Chairperson, it is disheartening to see the banning of libraries during service delivery protest, as these are knowledge production centers. And we welcome the program that will be centered around the culture of reading, as stated by Honorable MEC MAVIMBELA. And further welcome the commitment to source and distribute local material in our libraries. We further welcome all the post-lockdown activities that will be implemented by the department. We also extend our congratulations to the appointed Council of AMAFA and Research Institute. Honorable Chair, the ANC supports the budget of 1.021 billion. We are confident that this budget will respond to societal needs in regards to arts and culture. We once more would like to appreciate Honorable MEC for the hard work that she continues to put in the department, as well as a team, in ensuring that the people of KwaZulu-Natal are serviced diligently. As members of the committee, we commit to support this department by ensuring that we comprehensively play our oversight role. Siyazi ke sihlalo ukuthi abanye basazoqhubeka nabasazongena bagxeke ngoba phela abanye baphilela kona ukuthatha information emakomidini bese beyayihlangakezela ngoba abafuni ukuthi bavume ukuthi ukhongolose uyaqhuba. Kodwa ke singukhongolose sithi ke qhuba ntombi yasenhlwathi ukhongolose uthembe wena. Siyabonga sihlalo.
Thank you very much, Honorable CALUZA. The next speaker is from the IFP, and that is Honorable BUTHELEZI for 10 minutes. Ndabezitha, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Is Honorable Buthelezi available?
Akekho sihlalo kuba.
Ewu.
Ufuna ukubuya noma sithinde lo 10 minutes unikeze Honorable CALUZA aqhubeke.
Umthetho uthi
Ungabuyisa ngapha kusihlalo.
uzongena noma ngabe sekugcineni.
Noma nginikeze unzwakele usihlalo.
Angena nje olandelayo.
Ngcono ube umfundisi.
Angithi lento iyahohoza mase kungena inkatha. Angithi ixushiwe lento. Seniqale lo msebenzi wenu lo.
Awukahle Gabhisa siyasebenzisana la.
Can we check Honorable Buthelezi? Akatholakala.
Ngathi atholakala isihlalo.
Useseshowe uzangeneni.
Akasitholi ispeech sakhe abambhalele sona.
Ngeke kumele lokho.
Cha manje
Sisazama ukumcinga sihlalo.
Phela umfo wamabhange.
Is it possible that maybe we take the next speaker in the meantime so that we don't waste time? She will come back. Is that fine?
Yes, let's just proceed. Let's proceed.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable members, at this point in time, let me then invite the speaker from the DA, which is Honorable Singh, who will speak for 8 minutes. Honorable Singh, over to you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Thank you, Honorable MEC, Honorable Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, Honorable DUBE. Going into 2020, we would have never thought that South Africa would be hit so hard with a pandemic that could shake the entire nation with fear for their lives, especially since no cure has been found. With this came unforeseen circumstances such as job losses, economies being severely impacted, and budgets being reshaped to help those that have been financially impacted by the implementation of the nationwide lockdown. We have seen many artists in particular have their fate altered because of COVID-19, and many have suffered due to financial implications of concerts and events being cancelled. While it is refreshing that relief funds have been set aside to assist those who have lost their income, the selection process of artists that were offered online job performances still remain flawed. Honorable MEC, we find this deeply concerning and biased, as all artists should have been treated equally and adequate opportunities should have been given to all. Aside the ongoing scenario of COVID-19 and how it has deeply impacted many, we regrettably note the decrease in the department's budget for the 2020-2021 financial year to 1.021 billion from the previous 2019-2020 budget of 1.132 billion. Such a slash in budget will have severe impacts, and it is noted that libraries will bear some of that brunt. Libraries serve as an integral part of stimulating educational growth in children, and the budget reveals that the Tikweni and Msunduzi municipalities will receive less funds for operational costs. Further to this, the allocation of funds for much-needed construction of libraries will be reduced. There is also no guarantee as to whether these libraries will be completed. The cut of 13.5 million, 11 million, and 1.5 million respectively from the funding will have dire impacts, especially since resources are scarce in rural areas who need to use library facilities going forward with the academic year. The expectancy of last year's budget looked hopeful, where it was thought that the previous budget would service the grave library concerns, but now it appears to be further downhill. Another negative and noticeable impact identified in the budget in comparison to the 2019-2020 budget is a lack of attention to the Winston Churchill Theatre and the Osindenzweni Arts Centre. These further delays will now see, due to the new budget, various infrastructure projects being cancelled, where funds for the Winston Churchill Theatre, the Osindenzweni Arts Centre, the Archive Repository, and the Music Academy in Ladysmith once again having their funding suspended due to discrepancies. Over the years, we have had promises made as well as delays, and now it appears that going forward, the department is back to where it started, in going nowhere with these refurbishments. The KZN Music House, millions and millions of rands have been wasted. No artists have benefited from the millions that have been wasted. Only politically connected individuals have benefited. Touching on the KZN MAFA and Research Institute, this has been recently taken over by the department, and the MAFA's transfer has been offset by the reprioritization of funds to the entity. Heritage sites in KwaZulu-Natal will continue to play a huge role in cultural diversity, but we are yet to see the department's impact that it will have on the KZN MAFA and Research Institute. Earlier this year, we were informed of a monument for the indentured laborers to be erected by November 2020. This was made public by the Honorable Premier Sishla Zikalala during his State of the Province address. It has been 10 years since the initial promise was made. Further to this, the amount of 10 million was allocated in the 2014-2015 budget, and thereafter nothing was being done about it. We find ourselves back to questioning what happened to the funds that were transferred to the eThekwini municipality and mismanaged, and then a portion was transferred back to the Premier's office, where it is still sitting to date. There has been no advancement with this project, and the lack of transparency is disappointing. The one thing to note is that during a portfolio committee meeting, the HOD could not commit whether the monument will be erected by November 2020. Honorable MEC, it is noted that the budget allocation for vacancies have increased, where up to 97 critical posts could have been filled. The question, however, begs the answer is how the department has reached a point where 97 posts needed to be filled and where there was no improvements in filling these posts in the 2019-2020 budget allocation. It is sadly noted that in the second quarter of the financial report, the critical posts were not filled despite being budgeted for. What is the funding being spent on if previous positions were not filled? And now this aspect has seen a tremendous increase in the budget with a proposed 97 posts that could be filled. It is no surprise that the vacancy rate is at 19% within the Department of Arts and Culture, and job creation should always remain a priority, and sadly, this department has failed to plan itself out meticulously to achieve its targets and spend their budget appropriately. Meanwhile, Honorable MEC, it is noted that the Cultural Affairs has seen a large budget allocation for the 2020-2021 budget year. And what particularly stands out is improving the mood in the province programs, where up to 5.2 million will be spent. What exactly is this being spent on, and what does it involve? It appears to be wasteful expenditure that could be utilized, such as libraries, which will be most impacted in the forthcoming year. Honorable MEC, there is also another pressing issue that requires urgent answers, but all efforts have fallen on deaf ears. The construction of the Tungulu Arts Center has been dormant for several years. Its launch has been expected and anticipated by the local community for many years, but the building is an eyesore due to poor construction. The construction was funded by the Department of Arts and Culture with a total cost of 25 million rand. Further to this, 2 million rand was made available in the 2019-2020 financial year and was spent, but shows no visible evidence. Even the grass is not cut. Previously, the ANC blocked an important Treasury report on a forensic probe into the alleged fraud and corruption at the Tungulu Arts Center. Suppression of this report can only be described as shocking and smacks of double standards. What happened? Where is the money that was allocated?
Chair.
Yes.
Is the member prepared to provide evidence of the allegation he continued making against the ANC?
Right, Honorable Singh.
Yes, Chair, it's coming. The suppression of this report can only be described as shocking and smacked of double standards. What happened? Where is the money that was allocated for this? Most importantly, where is the accountability? This requires another urgent investigation. This year has been tough with the country going into lockdown. Jobs have been impacted and affected, but going forward, I honestly believe that the 2020-2021 budget allocation could have been better managed for the improvement rather than complacency. The current budget allocation is disappointing on all fronts, and the department needs to devise strategies to ensure that all unachieved and partly achieved targets in the previous budget is met with this budget, so that the department can fulfill its mandate to the people. As a Democratic Alliance, we strive to ensure that all